Andariki namaskaramulu. Today is a very good day for all of us that we are going to start the first seminar of our certificate course on Sanatana Dharma. The today's speaker is Ravi Prakash Arya ji. I will introduce him to all of you after Vande Mataram and Prarthana. So now I request Challa Chittibabu Garu to recite Vande Mataram. All of you also recite along with him. Thank you.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam, Malayaj Sitalam, Satsya Syamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram. Suprajyosna pulakitayamini pullakusumita drumadala shobhini suhasini sumadhura bhashini sukhadam varadam mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram. Namaskar.
Vande Mataram. Now I request Dr. Sharada to, I have to unmute her. Okay. Now I request Dr. Sharada to chant Prarthana, please.
Sarvebhyo Namo Namaha. Let us do meditation for 1 minute. Dhyanam, followed by 3 times Omkara. Gananam tva ganapatigam havamahe kavim kavinamupamashravastamam jyeshtarajam brahmanam brahmanaspata anashrunvannutibhissidha sadanam. Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhinama Vitriyavatu. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Gurureva Gati Gurumeva Bhaje Gurunaiva Sahasmi Namo Gurave. Na Guroh Paramam Sishurasmi Guroh Matirasti Gurau Mama Pahi Guro. ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा मृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्य देवो भव अतिथि देवो भव। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ ధన్యవాదः.
ధన్యవాదములండి డాక్టర్ శారదా గారు. Okay, now going further, I'll introduce Professor Ravi Prakash Arya garu. It is my pleasure and privilege to get an opportunity to introduce Professor Ravi Prakash Arya ji to all of you. He is a chair professor on Maharshi Dayananda Saraswati Chair, UGC, in Maharshi Dayananda University, India. He is a world-renowned Vedic scholar, philologist, historian, philosopher. He is a prolific speaker and writer. He is a widely traveled scholar who has delivered more than 350 popular and academic talks on various topics of Vedas, Indian history, linguistics, philosophy, culture, and scientific Indian heritage in various countries of the world. He is doing pioneer work for preserving and propagating the universal preserving and propagating the universal and scientific Vedic heritage of India under the auspices of Indian Foundation for Vedic Science. He has to his credit 75 research papers, 70 books running into 84 volumes on various aspects of Vedas, Vedic sciences, Vedic exegesis, Vedic philosophy, Vedic philology, religion, Indian history and culture. He is the chief editor of a quarterly research journal called Vedic Science, dealing with the scientific interpretation of Vedas and allied literature and ancient Indian traditions. This journal is acclaimed as an authoritative document on the Vedic sciences. He is also the editor of the annual World Vedic Calendar. He has convened several national and international conferences, seminars, workshops on Vedic sciences, Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality, and Indian knowledge systems. He is a recipient of many awards at the national and international level, and he is also he has served the Higher Education Department of Haryana as principal of various degree colleges for over 10 years. And it is my again a pleasure to have introduced Ravi, Prakash, Arya ji, to all of you. Now let us welcome Ravi, Prakash, Arya ji and request him to take the webinar, please.
Thank you. And Colonel Babu and all participants of this Sanatan Dharma course. Greetings from my side. As this today's lecture is confined to the introduction of the Veda. Veda is the ancient most heritage, not only of India, but of the whole world. And as the very name suggests, Veda, the word Veda has formed of three roots, three verbal roots. Vid Jnane, Vid Vicharane, and Vid Lari Labhe. Vid Jnane means the root is with and its meaning is knowledge. Second one is Vid Vicharane, the root is with and its meaning is to think, to ponder over, or to go in samadhi. And third one is with lari labhe, to attain something, to receive something. So this word Veda is the knowledge. It's not some religious book. Ved is not a religious book in the sense of other religious books, just like Bible or Quran. And Ved is the source of dharma. Dharma, the word dharma is quite different from religion. Dharma doesn't have the connotation of the word religion. The word dharma means that the set of moral, ethical values, knowledge, vidya that is called, and the duties of a human being towards his own self, towards his family, towards society, towards nation, towards the entire globe, and towards the environment. So all these things, they are combinedly known as dharma. When Manu, the first lawgiver of humankind, he defines dharma, dhriti, kshama, damo, asteyam, shaucham, indriya, nigraha, dhir vidya, satyam, akrodho, dashkam, dharma lakshanam. All these patience, non-violence, not to be angry, all these things, they are they can be classified into the moral and ethical values or the human value system. So the Vedic word dharma is quite different from the word religion, what is prevalent today. The word religion has sectarian bias. It is based upon sects. But this is known as Sanatan Dharma. The course, name of the course is also Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan means eternal. That has come to us from eternity and eternally, which is present. Why it is known as Sanatan or eternal? Because when Brahman, he created this universe, this knowledge, the Veda is the knowledge of the universe itself, knowledge of the creation itself, and it became present into this universe with its creation itself. Just like an engineer is creating or he's manufacturing a machine or he's inventing some machine, so that knowledge of the machine belongs to that engineer. Similarly, when Brahman, he creates this universe, so the knowledge of the universe, that belongs to the Brahman himself. It is the property, the knowledge is the property of the Brahman. It is not the property of any human being. That is why in Vedic tradition, in Sanatan Vedic tradition, it is said, Veda hi apaurusheyah. The Vedas, they are not composed by some human being. Some human being cannot have the authorship of this knowledge, but the authorship of this knowledge can be assigned to the Brahman himself, who is the creator of this knowledge and who is the creator of the whole universe. In fact, when the Brahman or the creator, he is known as Kavi. In Ishavasya Upanishad, when we read, he has been called as Kavi, Manishi, Paribhu. Why he is called as Kavi? So while defining Kavi, it is said, whatever Kavi does, that is known as Kavya. Kaver karma kavyam. So when Brahman is Kavi, then his karma is said to be the Kavya. And what is his karma? Just like we human beings, we are doing different type of karmas. Similarly, the Brahman is also doing a karma, and that karma is known as creation. So this whole creation is the kavya of the Brahman. This creation is the drishya kavya of the Brahman, manifested kavya of the Brahman, and the Veda is the shravya kavya of the Brahman. Whatever we see in the universe, that we can hear in the Veda. In Vaisheshika Darshan, Vaisheshika philosopher Kanada, he says, Buddhi Purva Vakya Kritir Vede. The writer of the Veda, the author of the Veda, has applied his mind while writing, while composing this Shruti Kavya, Shravya Kavya. Why? Further, it is explained, because whatever is found in this Drishya Kavya, in this creation, exactly the same description has been given in the Veda. So the creator of the universe and the author of this Veda is one person, the same person. That is why there is exact similarity in this Shravya Kavya and his Drishya Kavya. So the Veda is the property. Veda is the property of the Brahman. The knowledge is the property of the Brahman. It starts with the creation and it ends with the creation. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vedanta Krita and Veda Vrit, that Veda Vita, that Brahman is the source of knowledge, and that is the Vedanta Krita. That Brahman is going to end this knowledge, because when the creation ends, the knowledge ends. And when the creation is started, then the knowledge is also get manifested. And this is how, when it is applied to a human being, why this Veda is required. Veda is the source of dharma. Vedo akhilo dharma moolam. Ved is the source of purushartha. Why the knowledge has been given by Brahman? Because it helps a human being in achieving the purushartha. This Vedic Sanskriti, this Sanatan Sanskriti, this Vedic knowledge is only the Sanskriti or the civilization where the goal of a human being has been set. In other civilizations, in other cultures, no goal for a human being has been set. When we go through the history, 2000-year-old history of the whole Europe, we do not find even a single philosopher who was able to set the goal for a human being. And goal, according to the Western philosophy, goal for a human being is eat, mate, and marry. But here, the Vedic seers, they have set a goal for a human being, and that goal is known as Purushartha. This one word is very important to understand. If we want to understand the Indian culture, this one word is very important to understand. What is Purushartha? Artha means objective. Purush means human being. Objective of the life of a human being, that is known as Purushartha. And what is that Purushartha? Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Four things are included into this very word Purushartha, Dharma. Dharma, as I defined, Vedo Akhilo Dharma Moolam, as I defined the set of moral, ethical values, value system that a human being requires. Without the human value, a human being cannot be called as a human being. He will be as better as an animal being. That is why Manu says, Janmana Jayate Shudraha. All human beings, they are born just Shudra, just like animals, illiterates. But Sansakarair Dvijuchyate. When they get the sanskar of moral, ethical values, the knowledge, vidya, and all these things, then he becomes a Dvija, twice born. First birth, a human being attains from the womb of his mother, and another birth, a human being attains from the womb of his acharya. That is why in Vedic parlance, the disciple of the acharya, he is known as Antevasi, because he dwells for 9 months or 10 months in the womb of the mother, but for 10 years till 12 years he has his dwelling in the womb of his acharya. That is why Shakpat Brahmana says there are two types of progeny. Dvividha va ima prajaha, manushi cha daivi cha. There are two types of progeny. One is manushi, human progeny, and another is divine progeny. Manushi prajananat prajayati. The human progeny takes birth due to the sexual interaction of the parents. Sandansi vai daivi praja. But the divine progeny, it takes birth through the sandhas, through the knowledge. And how it takes birth, he further defines, Tani esha bhukto janayati. The acharya gives birth to the divine progeny through his mouth, by the word of his mouth, when he imparts the knowledge, vidya, to that student. So that becomes the divine progeny. So this system, this Vedic system, and in Vedic system also, the shiksha, there is a difference between shiksha and vidya. Shiksha means the education pertaining to this mundane universe, to this material universe. And vidya means the education pertaining to a spiritual universe. So the spiritual world. So there is a difference between vidya and avidya. Vidya, shiksha gives you the knowledge how to maintain your physical body, but vidya gives you the food for maintaining your mind and soul. Because if the mind and soul are not given the food, they will die. They will not be able to develop to that level where a human being can achieve dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. So first one is dharma. The Ved is source of dharma. Then based upon dharma, a human being is required to attain artha, to obtain artha, to achieve artha. What is artha? The means, all material means and spiritual means for get the life going. Those means are the artha. And those means we are to achieve as per dharma, as per shastra, not illegal mean we can achieve. So everything is based, dharma is the base. And similarly, then comes the third thing is kama. All our desires, all our desire as per sanctioned by shastra, not whatever you think and whatever we think we should try to achieve that, fulfill that desire. Only the nitya karmas we are supposed to do, but not kamya karmas, where we want to do some action for the fulfillment of our mundane desire. So whatever is essential for the maintenance of this life, for this body, that is required, and that karma, that karma we can fulfill. So all legal desires we can fulfill, but not the illegal desires. And after that, a human being is supposed to achieve moksha. And when and for all this system, for dharma, artha, kam, and moksha, for all this system, the Veda is required, the knowledge is required. And when finally a human being attains moksha, he merges with Brahman, his individuality is universalized, then this the purpose of this knowledge gets served. After that, this knowledge is not required, and that is why it has been said Vedanta Krita. That is the end of the knowledge, that is known as Vedanta, end of the Veda. So far, a human being is not able to achieve moksha, this Veda is required for him. The Veda is going to serve his purpose, and whenever he finally achieves moksha, then the Veda becomes meaningless for him, and that is the end of the knowledge for him. Just like Ayurveda is required, so far we are not able to understand this human body, its disease and all ailments. When you become a perfect human being, we become a perfect, achieve a healthy body and all these things, then the purpose of Ayurveda gets served. And the end of the Ayurveda comes, Ayurveda is no further required. So this is how this Vedanta, Veda Krita, Brahman is both, he is Vedanta Krita and he is Veda Vita, he is the source of knowledge. So this Veda is a very wide term. Veda, it very inclusive term. It is going to include this whole universe, material universe, as well as that spiritual Brahman. That is why, while the Vedic seers, they translate the Vedic mantras, they say that every mantra has three types of interpretations. Adhyatmika means the spiritual interpretations. Then Adidaivik, this astronomical interpretation, and Adi Bhautika, whatever is happening in this mundane life, in this social life, that is Adi Bhautik interpretation. So this Veda, it is going to serve the purpose of human life to achieve his objective. All the three aspects have been included into the Vedic system. And that is why in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, Triguna Vishayo Vedaha. This whole Srishti, this whole creation made up of three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. That is the subject matter of Veda. And further he says, for moksha, naistraigunyo bhava Arjuna. O Arjuna, if you want to attain moksha, then you will have to rise above these three gunas, rise above the Prakriti, which is made up of three gunas. Then only you can achieve moksha. So this Vedic system is the knowledge system. It is not some religious based system. It is for universality, for achieving universality from individual to universalization of the soul. This Veda system has been made. In fact, this Sanatan tradition, it has three things, three words. One is Ved, as I defined. Second one is Yajna, and third one is Purana. Yajna, Veda, and Purana. If we are able to understand these three words or these three concepts, I think nothing remains to be understood. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, Saha Yajna Praja Srishtava. This whole creation, these whole living beings were created along with the Yajna itself. And Yajna, Dan, and Tapa, these are the Nitya karmas. These are the karmas to obligatory duties. to be performed by every human being. So yajna, what is the yajna? The process of creation, the process of the creation of human beings, that is yajna. Veda is the knowledge of creation and Purana is the history of creation. While defining Purana, it has been said, Sargasha, Pratisargasha, Vanshu, Manvantarani cha, Vanshanucharitam chaiva Purana Lakshanam. So, what is the subject matter of Purana? Sargasha, this creation, Pratisargasha, the creation, and Vanshaha, Manvantarani cha. Manvantarani means time calculation system, when something takes birth and it dies. So it all happens in a time span. So Manvantra system, the time reckoning system. And Vanshaha, all these lineage of the heavenly bodies. No doubt the lineage of human beings is also there, but the Veda or the Purana, it talks about the lineage of the heavenly body. When it says the Prajapati has 27 daughters and that those daughters were married to Chandrama. So it's not talking about some historical character, but astronomical character is talking about. The Prajapati is our galaxy, galactic system, and it has 27 daughters, it has 27 constellations. And all those 27 constellations, they got married to the moon, because through moon, we are able to know the constellations. Every day, moon enters or have conjunction with one constellations, and that is why Veda also says Nakshatranam upasthi soma ahitaha. So this moon is sitting in the lap of the constellations. So this Purana is the history of creation. Yajna is the process of creation, and Veda is the knowledge of creation. And it is very beautifully said, Veda yajjaratham hi Vedaha prasiddha. Why the Vedas were made known by Brahman? Yajjaratham. Just to understand this creation, this process of creation, when a human being will be able to understand this whole system, then only he will be able to attain moksha. Indian tradition says, Vedic tradition says, Rite Janat Namukti. Without knowledge of this creation and Brahman, no one can attain moksha. So this moksha is also known as a Brahma Jnana, the knowledge of the Brahman. And this knowledge is not the type that I'm speaking and you are getting this knowledge. Some words are being fed to your mind. That is not the knowledge. In Indian system, in Vedic system, there are another two words, Jnana and Vijnana. Both have been used, Jnanam cha Vijnana Sahitam. What is Jnana and what is Vijnana? These are two different terms. Adi Shankara, he defines Jnana and Vijnana. He says, Jnanam Vishayaha, Vishaya Nubhutira Vijnanam, Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. What is Jnana? Information, exact information of a subject, that is Jnana. And what is Vijnana? When that information is realized, that comes into your experience, then that information becomes Vijnana. And further, Acharya says, Vijnanam Anandam Brahman Brahma. Because the information that Brahma exists, this information is there. The presence of Brahman is there. This information of about Brahman, that is known as a Jnana. But when the Brahman is realized into Samadhi by a yogi, his presence is realized by a yogi in Samadhi, then that Jnana, that information, exact information of a Brahman, that becomes Vijnana. So, Vedic Vijnana is the experiential knowledge, the knowledge based upon realization. And what is modern Vijnana? I just want to differentiate. Modern Vigyan is the experimental knowledge, whatever experiment done in the observatory, in the laboratory, and whatever is observed during that experiment, that is called as Vijnana. But the Vedic Vijnana is more higher. It includes experimental knowledge also, but everything cannot be understood with the experimental knowledge. Something, there are certain things which cannot, where experiment cannot take place, where experiment cannot be done, but where realization, those concepts can be understood through experience or realization. Just like hunger and thirst, they are the subject of experience. If a person has experienced hunger and thirst, then only he will be able to understand another person's hunger and thirst. Because you cannot measure whether a person is hungry or he is thirsty. There is no such experiment. You cannot know it experimentally, but through your experience you can understand it. That is why it is said, the experience of a mystic can be verified by another mystic. So that experience of a mystic cannot be verified into a laboratory, because only another mystic, the experience of a yogi, can be verified by another yogi who has gone at that level of experience. He will be able to tell you, yes, his experience is correct. At certain stages of the yoga, when you do yoga at certain stages, a yogi have different type of experiences. Those experiences, those realizations cannot be proved in a laboratory, but when another yogi at that level he reaches, then he will have those experiences and he will be able to verify those experiences. So this jnana and vijnana is a higher system of the knowledge, because Vijnana, the modern Vijnana, it remains confined to this material world. The material things, you can have the experimental knowledge, but when you move towards the spirituality, then this material knowledge ends. Where it ends, there the spiritual knowledge starts. That is why the Vijnana is there. So this whole concept of Jnana and Vijnana, Yajna, Veda and Puran, it is associated like that. So Veda is the karma. This creation is the karma of Brahman. Veda is that karma of Brahman. This is the Shravya Kavya. That is why in Rigvedic verse, one of the Rigvedic verse, the seer says, there are some persons who are, even while seeing his kavya, they are not able to see it, they are not able to understand it. We just see this universe all around, but we are not able to understand how this universe came, and we are think that this whole creation is confined to this material system only, and we are not able to see that Brahman behind it, who is the real efficient cause of it. And similarly, the further the seer says, there are some persons who are going to hear his kavya, but they are not able to understand it. We are all chanting Veda mantras. We go, we study the mantras, even while we are not able to understand that Brahman, this whole knowledge. So it's very abstruse, and the study of this knowledge can be done only at the level of yoga level or the samadhi level. So this whole thing, the spiritual, metaphysical level, astrophysical level, and physical level, this is the subject matter of Veda. Now, if we go further, Veda has three things. First one is the mantra. We find the Vedas, the mantra, that is known as a Sanghita portion. And a mantra, it has chanda, it has a rishi, a seer, and it has a devata. So every mantra, every sukta of the Veda, it has three things. seer, rishi, devata, and chanda. What is seer? The seer is Rishir Darshanatha, a seer who has the revelation of this knowledge in Samadhi. They are known as seer. And they presented this knowledge to the people at large. And how this revelation takes place. For having this revelation, no language is required. Just like the people who are going to read the mind. So when they are reading the mind, no language is required. They are able to know what a human being is thinking about. But the language is required when this knowledge is conveyed to other human beings in the form of language. That is why this whole Vaka, Ved has been known as Vaka, and there are two types of Vaka, Para Vaka and Apara Vaka. So Veda, when it was visualized by the seers in their Samadhi, this whole universal knowledge, because when the Brahman created this universe, the knowledge of the universe itself became present in the universe. Just like the machine, when a machine is manufactured, its knowledge also come into being in the universe at the very moment that machine is produced. Similarly, when this creation was produced, its knowledge also came into being very moment in the universe. That is why we say this Veda is as old as the creation itself. It's not, it didn't came later. It came at the very moment the creation came into being. So when this knowledge was present in the universe, and the seers, they imbibed this knowledge, they visualized this knowledge. So at the time of the visualization of this knowledge was in the form of aparavaka. And when it was visualized, it came into the form of pashyanti, paravaka. And paravaka is also of three types: pashyanti, madhyama, and vaikhari. Pashyanti means darshan, at the level of darshan, rishir darshanat. When rishi is going to have visualization, the rishi is going to have the darshan, then that level of vaka he is receiving it, that is pashyanti vaka. But when Yaska says Sakshata Krita Dharmanaha Rishayo Babhu, he is going to narrate the history of the origin of Veda. He says Sakshata Krita Dharmanaha Rishayo Babhu. In the beginning of the universe, in the beginning of creation, there were born rishis who were able to realize this knowledge into their samadhi. The word dharma means here Veda itself, because Veda is the source of dharma. So dharma and Veda is one and the same thing. Why in Purvimamsa, Jaimini defines Chodana Lakshano Artho Dharma. What is dharma? He says the symbolic meaning of the Veda, that is dharma. Veda has been defined as a Chodana because that was the result of the inspiration, prerana by Brahman to those seers when they had samadhi and when they wanted to gain this knowledge. Then the Brahman, he inspired this knowledge to their souls. So Chodana Lakshano Artho Dharma, the lakshanic meaning of the Veda, the symbolic meaning of the Veda, the figurative meaning of the Veda, that is dharma. While defining the Veda itself, the seer says, Shatpat Brahman, Yajvalakya says, Proksha priya iva hi devaha pratyaksha dvishaha. The devas, they were the lover of the abstruse knowledge, not the direct knowledge. The intended sense of the Veda cannot be gained directly, the direct knowledge, but indirectly, symbolic meaning is there. So everything what is stated in the Veda, that is proksha krita, that is indirect knowledge, or that is figurative and symbolic knowledge. That is not the direct abhidha, direct knowledge, what we understand directly. The meaning of the Agni is not fire in the Veda. It's a symbolic one. It represents, and that symbolic meaning has been given in Brahmana Granthas, where this Veda has been explained. Agnirvayi Brahma, Agnirvayi Agnirvayi Brahma, Agnirvayi Palasho Brahma, like that. There's so many definitions have been given. The symbolic meaning have been given. So the meaning of the Veda, that is symbolic, and that is the dharma. Sakshat krita dharmanaha rishayo bahu. And when he says, te avarebhya sakshat krita dharmabhya upadeshena mantrana sampradi. Those seers who visualized this knowledge, they passed on this knowledge to the further seers who did not have this visualization. And when they passed on this knowledge, only that time this Vaikhari Vak, Pashyanti, Madhyama and Vaikhari Vak, Vyakta Vak, that is known as a Vyakta Vak, expressed language, the language that was expressed by seers through their mouth, it came into being, Vyakta Vak. And further, Vyaska says, and there came a time in the history when these seers, those disciples, they were not able to take this whole knowledge by heart. So then only these mantras, they were penned down, they were documented by the seers so that this knowledge can be preserved. And the beauty of the mantra, you see, no human being can write or compose a mantra even today. Yes, there are scholars who can write, who can compose a shloka, but not a mantra. It's so complex because every mantra, every word in the mantra, it has three accents: udatta, anudatta, and a swarita accents. People say, na, saswara patha. We are doing saswara part of the Veda because that udatta, anudatta, and swarit, that is a peculiarity of the Vedic system. A word will have only one udatta, and as per that udatta, the meaning of the word is defined. So if you want to translate a mantra, you must be well versed in the accentual system. And then that swarit, somewhere it becomes prachaya swarita, and somewhere it becomes something else. So such a complex system is there that no human being can compose another mantra based upon udatta, anudatta, and a swarita system. It is totally difficult. That is why it is said that this knowledge was imbibed by seer as strings, as vibrations in their mind through samadhi, and then they passed it on to the further generation, firstly through oral instructions, and after that it was documented. So this is the whole history. The mantras, the Ved that we have today, it is in the form of documental forms, but its whole history has been narrated by those seers itself. And this mantra, these Vedas, these are the four Vedas. Four Vedas are there: Riga Veda, Yajur Veda, Shama Veda, and Atharva Veda. And four Vedas, a very beautiful description has been done. He says, Agnir Rigvedaha, Suryat Shamavedaha, Vayur Yajurvedaha, like that. Means Trai Vidya. This is more famous. Atharva is the fourth one. This Rigveda is Jnana Kanda. It gives you the knowledge of everything in the universe and the Brahman. That is Jnana Kanda. And this Yajurveda is the Karma Kanda. Means only Gyan is not there. When the Gyan is there, it's practical. Theory has to be there. When the Brahman had this knowledge, this Veda is being kept by Brahman in his mind. And according to this Veda, he is creating this universe. This is the theory. And while applying this, while creating this universe, he is applying this theory. Just like when a human being, he creates something, first of all, the blueprint comes into his mind. The whole map comes to his mind, he creates in his mind, and according to that blueprint, he just translates that blueprint into some creation. Just similarly, this Veda is the blueprint in the mind of the Brahman. And according to that blueprint, he creates this universe. So this blueprint is the information of creation into Brahman. Just like a tree is there, its seed is there. That seed is it has some information in it. And when that seed receives a conducive atmosphere for its flourishing, then the same tree will come out of the seed of which the information is had by that seed itself. If the information is that of mango, then no peepal tree can come out of the seed. So whatever information, even human beings, whatever information we have in our mind, that is known as sanskara. Sanskara bijata srishti. In Vedanta it is said, sanskara bijata srishti. Whatever information a human being will have in his mind, according to that information, his biological structure takes place. His RNA, DNA is developed. So if you have the information of animals, then our next life we will be born as animals. What is sanskar? Whatever we think, whatever we do, whatever the way we interact in the society, we behave in society, the subtle impressions are formed into our mind, and those psychological impressions, they are the sanskars, and they are going to decide our future action, our future destiny, whether we are going to be born as human being again, or animal, or birds, whatever it is. So similarly, this information is there in the mind of the Brahman, and according to that information, the Brahman is going to create this universe. So Yajurveda is there, Yajurveda. And how this creation takes place? The word, he says, Vayur Yajurvedaha. The word Vayu has formed of a root, va gati gandhanayo. Va, root, va means gati, motion. When the Brahman is going to create this universe, how he is going to translate that blueprint into creation? He takes a sankalpa, sa akamayataha, and his sankalpa means he thought of creating the universe. When he takes this sankalpa, when this thinking comes to his mind, thought comes to his mind, then what happens? The motion starts. The agitation, the Prakriti gets agitated. The motion starts. And when the Prakriti gets agitated, this is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, which were in equilibrium form, they becomes disequilibrium is there. Their homogeneity is disturbed, and this creation starts. So Maheshwarechaya gatirajayate, Vaisheshika Prashasthapada says, Nyaya Darshan also says, Maheshwarechaya, when Brahman thinks of creating this universe, his Ichha, this gati rajayate, the motion starts. So Yajurveda comes. Jnana, Rigveda is a Jnana Kanda, Yajurveda is a Karma Kanda. When this motion comes, then this whole creation takes place. And Samaveda is Upasana Kanda. When a soul comes into this universe, it has to do some action. Just like the Brahman is doing action, similarly, no soul can remain without doing action. This is what has been described by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. You cannot live without doing action. So what sort of action are required to be done so that we can attain moksha? Karma, akarma, vikarma, so many. That is a different subject. I am not going to that. So that is Yajurveda, Karma Kanda, and after that Upasana Kanda. This whole Upanishadic literature, that is Upasana. Why the Upasana is essential? For getting moksha, achieving moksha, you will have to be Upasana, means sitting close to the Brahman. If you are sitting close to the Brahman, then only you will be able to know Brahman, realize Brahman. In Vedic words, wherever the word knowledge, jnana, with, to know is there, that means realization. Not the knowledge that we have today, realization or experience. The word with, jnana or Veda, it has been used in the sense of experience or realization. So these are the three Vedas. And fourth Veda, Atharva Veda, is Vijnana Kanda. Whatever we do in our life, mundane life, in our social life, so it is there in the Atharva Veda. Because a human being, when the souls have come into this creation, why the creation was made by Brahman? For the soul, so that it may live there, it enjoys it, and it attains moksha. Tasya bhogapavargaratham. Patanjali says this creation was created by Brahman for the souls, so that they may enjoy it, they may attain moksha. After that, after enjoying, they will be able to understand this mundane experience, and this mundane life is nothing. It is full of pains and pleasures. There is no permanent pleasure here, bliss here. So then he will move towards Brahman. So this is how this whole system, Vedic system, it is a set system. And this ashram system is also the very set one. Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. Everything is interlinked. You cannot dissociate or isolate one thing from the another thing. So the whole system of the Vedic system is interlinked. For ashram also, if you want to attain dharma, then brahmacharya ashram is there. Then after that, artha and kama, grihastha ashram is there. Then Vanaprastha. Now you started moving from these mundane relations, attachments. So go to the Vanaprastha. In Vanaprastha, you are not living in your house, but you are living in jungle, close by your areas, in your village and everything, close by those things. You have dissociated yourself from your near and dear ones. Then after that, sannyasa. You have become living universalized soul, and that peripatetic monk, he belongs to everybody, and he moves around the world, gives this knowledge, impart this knowledge. That is sannyasa. Kamyanam karmanam sannyasam. All kamya karmas, a sannyasi is, sannyas means not to do any kamya karma with desire, and whatever nitya karma you are supposed to do, that is also without desire of fruit, without any attachment to yajna, dan, tap. If you are doing yajna just to attain something for your prosperity, you are doing dan so that you may become prosperous, that nitya karma also becomes the kamya karma. That is not required, because three types of karmas are there. Number one, kamya karma, what we do with to fulfill some desire. Then nishiddha karma, what has been totally forbidden, in the Shastras. And third one is the Naimittik karma. Naimittik means if we are doing some karma on account of some occasion, just like you are celebrating your birthday, that is Naimittik karma. You are celebrating any anniversary or the foundation of your institution, that is Naimittik. Kamya, Naimittika, and a Nitya karma. Nitya means you, Veda says you now live these Kavya karmas. Only at Grihastha level you do that. And at Vanaprastha level, you just do Nitya karma also without any fruit of desire. And without any attachment to those karmas. So that is Nitya karma. And you are not supposed to do any prohibited Nishiddha karmas. You are not supposed to do it. So this system, this karma system was developed, and after that sannyasa, only just for the sustenance of body, some nitya karmas he will be doing, and a sannyasi is not supposed to do that yajna, dan, etc. He will do tapa and some nitya karmas for sustaining his body, and rest is not doing. So this is how the whole system is made. Because the goal was set, objective of the human life, dharma, artha, kam, and moksha, and to achieve that moksha, this whole system has been fabricated by the Vedic seers. So this chanda, now the mantra will have chanda, devata, and rishi. Rishi, I told the seer who visualized it. What is devata? Yash. Yate nochyate sa devata, the subject matter of the mantra, that is devata. And that subject matter, just like the first mantra of the Rig Veda is there, Agni Mide Purohitam. So its devata is Agni, means the subject matter of this mantra is Agni. So Agni, here Agni is energy, Prakriti, because from this Agni everything dwells due to the Sankalpa of Brahman. So Devata is the subject matter of Veda, mantra. And Yaska says Deva Eva Devata. All these Devas, what we call as Deva, natural gods, natural Devas, or human gods, they are also the subject matter of the mantra. Just like while reciting in the beginning itself, it was recited Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. So these are the human devas. So they are also the subject matter of these mantras. Natural devatas are there. So they are Varuna, Nasatya, Indra. So they are also the subject matter of the mantra. And that spiritual deva is there, Parabrahman is there, is the Deva of Devas is there, Adideva is there. That is also the subject matter of the mantra. So Devata is the subject matter. And Chanda, the system in which that mantra has been composed, some discipline of the syllables is there. So that disciplinary system, according to that discipline of the syllables, according to which that mantra has been composed, that is known as a chanda. So there are seven main chandas. Gayatri is the first chanda. Then Ushanik, second chanda. Anushtup, third chanda. Brihati, fourth chanda. Pankati, fifth chanda. Jagati, Trishtup. So this is how these seven chandas are there. And how the chanda means covering. Chandansi Chadanat, they are going to cover every richa, every mantra, yajus or sama. So these are the coverings. Under these coverings, these mantras were composed. So Gayatri chanda has 24 syllables. Then Ushanik chanda has 4 additional, means 28 syllables. Then Anushtup chanda has 32. Then Brihati Chanda has 36 syllables. Then Pankati, that is, has 40 syllables. Then Trishtup, 44 syllables. And then Jagati, 48 syllables. How these 24 to 48 syllables? So this Chanda system is also very much natural. We have heard in marriage system, in marriage ceremony, Saptapadi is there. Kalidasa says to that Kumara Sambhava, when Shiva beats Parvati, then through the mouth of Shiva, Kalidas says, Satam Sangatam Saptapadina Muchyate. When two good persons, they become friend by walking 7 steps. By walking 7 steps, they become friend. Satam Sangatam Saptapadina Muchyate. That is why in the marriage system also, there are Saptapadi. You walk 7 steps and you get associated with you permanently. This is the concept. Similarly, this whole concept is very much natural concept. It has came down to us from our Prakriti itself. When this earth revolves around the sun is perpendicular on 7 places throughout these 12 months. In December, what is known as Makara Sankranti or Uttarayana, sun is perpendicular at 23.5 degrees south of equator. And that 23.5 degree in Veda, that is known as a Gayatri Chanda. Because half syllable cannot be there, so Gayatri Chanda has 24 syllables. And come to the Karka line of Cancer. During Dakshinayana line of Cancer, what we call as 21st June today, and that Makara Sankranti or Uttarayan is presently 21st December. So during Dakshinayana, sun is on 23.5 degree north of equator. That is known as Jagati Chanda. And 24 from south, from Gayatri to Jagati, what will be the calculation? 48. 24, 48. So Jagati Chanda will have 48 syllables. And in between, there are 7 steps. On February, the sun is 12 degrees south of equator. March, January, 12 degrees south. February, on 20 degrees south. In March, this 0 degree. So this March 0 degree is known as Brihati Chanda. So you keep on adding 4 and 4, and all this concept of Chanda will be clear. In the Rigveda it is said, Brihati Madhyudha Surya Stapati. When sun is on Brihati Chanda, it emits scorching heat. Why? Because when sun is on equator, it emits scorching heat. So this whole Chanda, Devata, Rishi, it's all very scientific system that was developed by the seers. So in nutshell, because it's going to be very big if I'll discuss everything. So in the nutshell, this is the introduction to the Veda and your first lecture on Sanatan Dharma. Ved is the source of Dharma. Vedo Akilo Dharma Moolam. And that source is the Veda. And this is the brief description or explanation of the Vedic system. So I thank you all. I thank the organizers who give me the opportunity sometime to speak with you. And I also thank everybody who heard me patiently. Thanks.
ధన్యవాదములండి ఆర్య ప్రకాష్ గారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. for giving a very insight into Vedas. Now we have Prabhu sir also along with us. First, I think I will ask him to speak a few words. After that, we will take question answer session. Prabhuji, I think I will make you co-host, or I will unmute. Where are you? I'll unmute you first. Okay, can you unmute yourself and
So, Ravi Prakash Arya ji, namaste once again. We are so grateful to you to have come and given this lecture. Friends, Ravi Prakash Arya is my very old friend for more than 30 years. Recently, we met at Delhi also. He came to see me when I went to Delhi to give the lecture. He is an extraordinary scholar of the Vedas. He has written the index to the Vedas. I mean, he has written more than, I think, 40 books on the scientific aspect of the Vedas. And as you understood today, and as I told on the inaugural day yesterday, the entire Sanatana Dharma, Vedic Sanatana Dharma, is scientific. That is the main position we are trying to understand. As against the Abrahamic religions, which are faith-based, they are not having any scientific dimension. So the Veda onwards, the Veda has three major factors: the Devata, Chandas, and Rishi. So, as Ravi Prakash also has told just now, Devata is the subject, Chandas is the meter, and Rishi is the deliverer. So, what is science? Science is the study of subjects of nature, like earth and so on. So, Veda is also a study of subjects of nature. So, Veda and science are same. So, this is a framework of common framework for science and Veda, which I have developed. And Ravi Prakash Arya ji and myself have been doing joint research for a long time. So he speaks Hindi. Please don't ask questions in Telugu. You ask him in English or Hindi. He doesn't speak Telugu. Now you can ask questions.
okay, just see any questions on the chat box.
Yeah, the first question is whether the word female also included in the word Purushartha.
Yes, yes. Purushartha, Purush here means both. Purush doesn't mean only male. Presently, this word has meaning as male. Purush means male and female both. Just like Putra. The word Putra also includes Putri also. In fact, in Sanskrit, Putri means a person who has some children. So the word here is Santan or like that. So there is no such discrimination in the beginning. It was the same. Purush includes both male and female. And this objective human life is both for male and female. Just like the divinity belongs to a human being, that is known as Deva. So similarly, the divinity belongs to the female also. They are known as Devis. In India, there are as many Devis, as many Devas are there. So there is no such discrimination, just like in other Abrahamic religion, as Prabhuji told. Here, Matri Devo Bhava, the name, the female comes first, then Pitri Devo Bhava. And when the male and female, the name are announced, Uma Shankara, the female will come first. Then Shankar will come last, Uma will come first. Yatra Naryastu Pujyante Ramante Tatra Devataha. In 2000 old history of the Europe, if you go through, right from Aristotle to Spinoza and all, you will find that they declare that women has no soul. Women has no soul, and they treated women as a material things. And till 1950, 1960, I also know when I was a small guy, in Europe, in America, women has no right to open a bank account because they doesn't have soul. And the half of the labor remuneration was given to a women as compared to the men. Even in India also, because we were invaded by all these Abrahamic religions, Islam and Christianity. So all these wrong and whatever was faulty system, it was adopted by us, and we also became the victim of that faulty system. And today, when the whole world talks about women empowerment, we are also in the line. But in our system, there was no need of the women empowerment. Women and men, they were treated equally. There was the same status and position for them.
Yeah. The other question is, if we are a part of Brahman, we are already in bliss. Why are we born and reborn till we attain moksha?
Yeah.
What happens when we attain moksha?
Yeah, we no doubt, Mamaivansha, in Bhagavad Gita also it is said, we are the part of Brahman. But the soul, it has one stall body with it, that is known as mind, ahankar, and buddhi. Man, buddhi, and ahankar. This stall body travels with the soul itself. And this mind, it is made up of prakriti. It is the part of prakriti, and the soul is the part of that spirituality, that Brahman. So this is how the soul is unique. In Brahman, what happens when the soul, due to this prakriti part, the soul can enjoy, it can take birth as per its sanskaras. The sanskaras are impressions of the material world, and this aham bhav, aham, when the sense of aham, what is aham? The sense of individuality is there. So long as the sense of individuality is there, then the soul is going to dissociate itself from the Brahman. Just like there is a space, and there is a space of the room, and the space of the room, these walls, they are the ahankar of that room. So long as the walls are there, this space, this room will be a different entity. When these walls are demolished, then the space of the room merges with the space of Brahman. Similarly, the human being, this aham, and this sanskar is there. This is very much natural. Just like if you purchase a new car and you keep it standing, you don't drive it, but it starts depreciating. It starts depreciating. Similarly, when a human being acquires this knowledge and he gets rid of this aham and he merges with Brahman, in fact, there is a two-way process. First one is the self-realization. Self-realization means you are going to realize that you are the pure spiritual element. You are neither you are this body nor you are the mind. When this self-realization takes place, then the realization of Brahman takes place. In self-realization, all your material sanskaras are burned down. Then your mind, it moves towards your soul. That's journey to the soul, and then mind merges with the soul itself. That is known as self-realization in nutshell. When the soul has no outside exposure, then its aham, the sanskar of aham remains, and all other sanskaras are eliminated. And this sanskar of aham, it also eliminates when you do yoga and practice in asamprajnat samadhi. This whole process has been described in Yoga Darshan. And when this sanskaras of aham is also eliminated, then a yogi, he merges into Brahman. What happens? But if you are in Brahman, you are in moksha, due to your sanskar, after some time, you get that depreciation. And that sanskar of aham again dwells. And due to that sanskar of aham, you again takes birth. That is known as Maya. The Brahman is going to reunite with Maya, because why he's reuniting? Because this dull body is with you, and that dull body, then it starts affecting your soul, and then aham bhav comes, and you takes birth as an individual soul. Then you again strive, you become universalized. So this process goes on. So this is how this whole system takes place.
Okay. The other question is, can you please elaborate the purpose of creation?
Yeah, this purpose of creation has been elaborated by, has been defined by Patanjali himself in Yoga Darshan. He says, Tasya bhogap vargaratham. Suppose you are going to make a house, you have made a house, but nobody is going to live in this house, then what will happen? This house is useful. So Brahman, because this is the sanskar of a Brahman to create this universe. So as per his sanskar, he creates this universe. When he creates the universe, somebody has to be there to live in, to enjoy it. So then he releases the soul. So go and enjoy it. Bhog, tasya bhogap vargaratam. When the soul comes, because the human soul, a human being is only the soul, only the being which can enjoy this universe, this creation, because this creation is made up of 5 elements: Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash. And this only human species, it has 5 receptors, 5 indriyas. And all these 5 indriyas, they are the receptor of one of those elements. So how to bhog? How we are doing bhog? We are doing bhog because every indriya we can assign to receive all these 5 elements. So we can consume, we can enjoy this creation, and that enjoyment, that's consumption of nature, that is bhog. So when the human being will do bhog of this creation, what will happen? Through, because now he has association with Prakriti, and due to Prakriti, he is not going to have the permanent bliss. Somebody talked about the permanent bliss also, because in association with Prakriti or this human body, we cannot have the permanent bliss. Sometimes we will have pain, sometimes we have pleasure. So in search of permanent bliss, the human being will get realized through the Shastras that you will have to dissociate yourself from this Prakriti, and he can attain moksha. So this is the whole system. This creation was made up for human beings, now for souls, to do the bhog of creation and ultimately to attain moksha.
Okay. The other thing is, where can we get your 40 books and other articles? Is there any site to get
It
online?
is all there on Amazon, Amazon.in, Amazon.com. You will feed my name, Ravi Prakash Arya. Then you will find it's.
Okay, thank you. Is there any significance of dedicating the 4 Vedas to Agni, Vayu, Sama, and Adharvana, or to
Yes.
Aditya?
Yeah. Actually, as I told, keeping in view of the Agni. What is Agni? Agni is the energy in primary sense. And Yask also classify this Agni, Vayu, and Surya in 3. He says Agni, Prithvi, Sthani, Devata. So this geothermal energy, that is also Agni. And the intervening space between sun and the earth, that is also known as Vayu, and we call it Vayu Mandal or magnetosphere of the earth. In our solar system, this applies. And then the Surya is Samaveda. So when the creation takes place in our solar system, this geothermal energy, it plays a part of the Agni. This intervening space, it plays the part of the Vayu, and Indra, they are the Antariksha Sthani Devata. And the Aditya or Surya, Vaishwanar, they are Prithvi Sthani, the solar Surya Sthani Devata. So these devatas have been divided. Whatever devata means subject matter of Ved, they have been divided into these 3 portions: Prithvi Sthani, Antariksha, and Dyu Sthani Devata. Similarly, when we talk about the entire creation, there are 3 spaces. One is Chidakash, that is known as a Swarata, that is known as Brahmaloka or the space of Brahman. So that is Agnisthani, because there the energy exists in eternal form, or we call it inactive form. And from that, when Brahman activates this energy, and that activated energy also forms its Bhutakash. This Bhutakash, Shankar says this is Bhutakash, or whatever the physics, in physics we call it a space. So this Bhutakash, this is Prithvi Loka. And the intervening space between that Chidakash and Bhutakash, that is known as Vayu. So this can be applied to the entire universe as well as to one solar system. And this whole system, that is why it is said Agner Rigvedaha, Vayur Yajurvedaha, Suryat Shamvedaha. So Rigveda pertains to this creational aspect. The intervening space, that is Yajurveda, and that Surya, Dulok is Shamveda, and this Agni, Vayu, Aditya, and Angira. Atharvan, Angira, these are also the names of the four seers. So accordingly, when the Vedas, they were classified into Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Shamveda, and Atharveda, these four rishis, they were also named after these four elements of the universe. So they are the name of the four rishis also, and they are also the names of all these elements. Just like Yamaha Vaivaswat, the Yam is the name of the seer, is as well as Yam is the name of the subject of that mantra. So name of the seer, sometime they are going to coincide or are the same as that name of the Devata also.
Okay. Yeah, there's a question on Prajapati as galaxy marrying moon as center of constellation. Can you explain this? Isn't it both Purusha, Devata, Brahma creating universe, labels Brahma doing karma, meaning Brahma will get karma phalam, meaning he is not nirlepa. Kindly elaborate.
So I was just giving example. The creation is the karma of a Brahman. But out of creating this universe, he is not going to get any phala. Because he has created this universe, that is only the phala for Brahman. But the human beings, whatever we do, we get the phala for that. Only the human species, not the animal species or bird or these. They are known as bhoga yunis, because they are going to reap whatever they have done in their past lives. But in human species, a human being will reap the karma, the fruits of the past lives, as well as he can create new karmas. He can do new karmas so that he may reform himself, transform himself, and he may attain moksha. So only in human species, this facility is there that you can do new karmas, you can do new sattvic karmas, tamasic karmas, or rajasic karmas, whatever you like. But in other species, they are all tamasic species, and they will have to reap the fruits of their past karmas. They cannot do anything. So this phala system, it applies to the souls and it doesn't apply to the Brahman. While creating this universe, Brahman is not going to do anything else. He is not going to play anything else. Whatever role is played by that is played by our souls, and they are going to face the music, whatever they will do.
Yeah. Actually, there are a lot of questions. Okay. Can you please share more details on how sun's movement is in line with the Chandas Gayatri to Jagati?
I can represent it through a graph. What happens when Earth moves around the sun? It the sun is perpendicular every month at a particular point in 12 months. Just like on 21st December, sun is perpendicular on Makara Rekha, or this 23.5 degree south. When we come to January, the sun will be perpendicular on 20 degrees south of equator. In 18th February, it will be perpendicular on 12 degrees south of equator. On 21st March, it will be perpendicular on equator 0 degree. Then on 21st April, it will be perpendicular on 12 degree north of equator. In May, 21st May, it will be perpendicular on 20th degree north of equator. On 21st June, it will be perpendicular on 23.5 degree north of equator. That is known as Karka Rekha. And if we go further, on 21st July, it will again come to the 20 degree north of equator. On 21st August, it will come to 20 degree north of equator. On 23rd September, it will again come to equator. And after 23rd September, this whole period from 21st March to 23rd September, that is known as Devayana. But the period from 21st December till 21st June, that is known as Uttarayana. So similarly, from 23rd September till 21st March, that period is known as Pitriyana. And the period from 21st June to 21st December, that is known as Uttarayan. These are two different concepts. When sun is there in the northern hemisphere, that is known as Devayan. When it is in the southern hemisphere, that is known as Pitriyan. But when sun's movement is from north to south to north, that is Uttarayana Gati. When its movement is from south to north, that is Dakshinayana. So these are the 7 steps. In the entire 12 months, the sun will be hovering on all these 7 points.
Okay, sir. Okay. Yajurveda is again divided into 2, Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda. What is the reason and what both says?
Yeah, actually, Shukla Yajurveda and Krishna Yajurveda, that is a difference of a Brahman. In Krishna Yajurveda, its Brahman text has been included there itself. In Shukla Yajurveda, Brahman text is different and Sanghita text, mantra part is different. So when both have been included or united together, joined together, that is known as Krishna. Krishna means mixed. Shukla means purity, one. Brahman is different and mantra is different. Only on that basis, this division is there. No other difference is there.
Okay. Are there any implications on the soul's journey when it leaves the body during Uttarayan or Dakshinayan?
Yeah, it is said Devayano Pantha Vitata Mahantah. So why the Devayan or Uttarayan has been given importance? We must understand it. In the beginning itself, there was a chant, Asatoma Sadagamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. So this Jyoti and Amrit, they are associated with Jnana, Prakash of the Jnana. So this knowledge, the Prakash, this Bhautik Prakash, that is also important. Why Uttarayan? Because in Uttarayan, the northern hemisphere people, they will be getting more light. They will start getting more light, and that is known as the best period. Because we are saying so, because the whole thing was discussed and debated in Bharata, and now Bharat is in northern hemisphere, so we gave importance to the northern hemisphere, this Uttarayan. When this Bharat, it was in southern hemisphere, crores of years ago, then this concept of Devayan and Pitrayan was there, because we have not crossed over to the northern hemisphere. So from this light point of view of the light, because light is the symbol of knowledge, and this light knowledge is the symbol of moksha. So the Uttarayan and Devayan, they have been given importance.
Okay. Is there any relation between moksha and rebirth?
Yeah, moksha means getting rid of this body first, then getting rid of this mundane world. You are going to merge. And birth means you getting embodiment. Moksha means disembodiment, and embodiment means birth. So you are going to be embodied as per your sanskaras, and if you are remove your ahankar, you are going to be disembodied. But you know, in a moksha also you cannot live permanently. After this creation cycle is over, and this creation cycle is 311 trillion years old. After the new creation is made, then Brahman, he sends everybody to this creation again. The people who were in moksha, they will again attain moksha because of their sanskaras of knowledge and all these things. And the people who were having the sanskar of this material world at the time of death or the dissolution, wherever position they were having, they will come back in the same position to reap the fruits of the karma. So this is whole thing. Whole process is there.
Okay, Babugar, there are many other questions. The time is running out. How do you handle it?
I think we should close. We should
Okay.
close now and let the questions be sent in separately.
Well,
Right,
there
I
is one question.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
what you said?
No, Babugar was saying something. Okay.
No, I said that it is too late now. No? Let us close and let the questions be sent by email or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
One person has asked for any notes on what you have covered. If you can share.
Yeah, all the books are there. My book is there, Introduction to the Veda. You will find it on Amazon when you will feed my name, Ravi Prakash Arya, everything.
Yeah. So please purchase.
Culture and Civilization, there is another book. It defines all these things. Vedic culture and civilization.
Yeah. Introduction to Vedas. That is the
Yeah.
book where you
Yeah.
can refer to that. And any questions you have, you put an email to Ravi Prakash ji. Can you give the email ID?
Yes, vedicscience@gmail.com. Simple, Vedic Science, VEDIC SCIENCE. One word and all small, vedicscience@gmail.com.
Okay.
vedicscience@readymail.com. vedicscience@hotmail.com. And you can send.
Thank you so much. And one last question we will ask Hemlata ji.
Yeah.
Quickly.
We'll have to unmute maybe.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I just wanted to know, generally there's always a discrepancy. People say that women should not utter Vedas or some mantras and all that. Is it true?
No, it's not true, because in the Veda itself, mantri imam patni imam mantram pathit. If you will not study Veda, then how can you read that mantra? And in Atharved it is said, brahmacharine tapasa patim vindate. After reading the life of brahmacharya, the female is going to get a good husband. So that brahmacharya life, where you are going to study Vedas itself. So it's not so. In fact, all these things happened during British period, during British rule, and so many scholars, under the pressure of Britishers and under the pressure of these Mughals, they introduced such things, because all these Abrahamic religions, they were anti-female. So they also got these things introduced in our literature. But so far as Vedas, Brahman Granthas, other texts are concerned, we don't find all these things. These are interpolations and later added to our granthas. Our chronology, it was also interpolated. Even Mahabharata, it has been interpolated. Earlier, there were some 24,000 slokas, then it became 8,000, 24, now 1 lakh slokas. Even in Puranas, Bhavishya Puran, you will find the name of Akbar, Babar, and all these things. So these are not our subject matter. These were interpolated, inserted later under the pressure of either Islamic rulers or the British rulers.
Thank you, sir. And Bappa Bhattacharya ji has been, he is the first one to rise right in the beginning. Raise his hand. Sir, very short question, please.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Actually, my point is that the entire universe is created where animal and human being both are living. Human being is the developed stage of animal. So under such circumstance, why this word Nishiddha karma is coming, and is it being created by our human being itself? Because all these are within legal, having legality, because in animal world there is no such word in Nishiddha karma. As we have developed, it has come the legality.
No, you are right. In fact, as per modern science, the evolutionary concept is different, because they say that biological evolution is there. But as per our Vedic system, there is a devolution, because the human species, the highly developed species, and other species, that is psychological evolution, we can say. As per your sanskaras, all these species were formed by Brahman, because a human being is going to have different of sanskaras. So the variety, permutation, and combination, all these species, they were made by Brahman. So here in human species only the karma system is there. I told now the human beings, they can do new karmas. So when we can do new karmas, then this nitya, kamya, nishiddha, and all these things apply. But animal beings, they are the bhog yonis. They cannot do any new karmas. So this system, kamya, nitya, naimittik, or nishiddha karmas, it doesn't apply to those lower species or narak yonis. Only to the human species it applies, because a human is free to do new karmas. He has got this freedom here. So the Brahman has also defined all this system also. In Shastra, they have Nishiddha karmas, Nitya, Kamya, and Naimittik. If you want to live, enjoy the life of human being in all your births, so do Kamya karmas, do Nitya karmas, but you don't do Nishiddha karmas or those karmas. If you do the Tamasic karmas, then you will be downgraded. That is Patan in lower species, Narak system.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for patiently, dealing with the questions and answers after a 1.5 hours of lecture. Thank you so much, and we are enlightened right in the beginning. You set a good tone of this course. Thank you so much on behalf of all of the participants, Veda Samskruti Samiti and Ribu Garu. We thank you for sparing your time and coming for this.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now let us request Sharadaji to chant Prarthana, please.
बहवः धन्यवादाः आर्य गुरुवर्य. ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः. गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः. पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी. देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो. ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः. अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु. पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः. अधनाः सधनाः सन्तु. जीवन्तु शरदां शतम्. सत्यं वद धर्मं चर. स्वाध्यायान् मा प्रमदः. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः. सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः. सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु. मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु हरिः ॐ स्वस्ति धन्यवादः
ధన్యవాదములండి శారద గారు. ఉత్తమం, అతి ఉత్తమం. గుడ్. Now I request all of you to
Stand up.
stand up. One is that, another one is open up your videos also. Even while chanting prarthana, open up your videos and then do chanting. Okay, now mute all of you and then recite Janaganamana, please. Kala Chitbabu garu.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़
One
उत्कल
minute,
बंगा.
hold on. I'll just mute everybody so that it doesn't become. All of you mute yourself. All of you mute yourself, please. All of you mute yourself, please. You see, if I hear everybody is audible, then it is a mix of voices and we can't make out what is what. There is no sync because of the delay in internet. Delays are there. Okay, so you all sing aloud, but mute yourself. Okay.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद.
Jai Hind.
जय हिंद.
Namaskar. Thank you, Challa Chitbabu garu.